Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time to the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Now, why isn't that? That's interesting. Okay, cool. Good morning, Nevermind! Happy Friday! It is a very bleak Black Friday here in the middle of the heartland where the corn is gone and the snow is coming. Folks, before we get going with our show, after I've blown out your eardrums, damaged your speakers, and scared the living tar out of my wife's son and two cats in the other room, the historical musical is one of our sponsors, but Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, as well as the BSR Core Rulebook. Now, dear friends, colleagues, Romans, we're also made possible by the amazing, the splendiferous Joe Bachman at Joe Bach Tech Apps, JB Tech Apps. For all your custom app making needs, please support Joe, give him vast sums of money, and buy the Big Stompy Robots phone app from him, because it is evolving. If you buy it, please give feedback to Joe. If you know Joe, give it to him directly. Joe likes it when people give it to him directly. That's why he keeps me around. Ba-doom-cha. But it is a lovely, lovely day. We are well fed. I hope all of us are, having survived, endured, or in my case, had a very pleasant actual Thanksgiving. Now, given that I have a family that is diverse and distributed, there will be multiple Thanksgivings scattered like seasoning through the early holiday season, although everyone knows my holiday starts with, Halloween, right? Yeah. Anglerfish says agrees, so you should too. Now, I have a bit of an announcement I was working on, which I'm sure you heard me muttering about. Being that I actually got a new book put up through KDP, being called Art and Tales by Nicholas Tockert. And I am fighting the very good fight to get things cleared up. Because anyone who knows, yes, cool. I have the digital is up. The paper copy will be coming soon. However, I am fighting the joys of Kindle submission guidelines, where the guidelines shift and you don't know what's going on. Why does that have all that gobbledygook? Oh, we're going to get rid of that extra gobbledygook because nobody needs that. But I will throw that in the links, and that will tell me how far behind I am as a starter. So, Art and Tales is a collection of my art, that most of which has been generated by a single word prompt, and then usually a short story attached to it, ranging from a few sentences to a full page. All of them giving glimpses inside the worlds that I populate and create for you. So there is a lot to be had, and there's a little string of lore. So for the people who have very little attention span and just want a quick story to jumpstart their day, we have this. We're going to see how it goes. Now, I will definitely be spending the next few hours likely fighting the formatting battles. But anybody who thinks I fight like this has no idea how I operate. But that being said, we're just gonna get going today. I'm sorry, my brain derped with that. So I have shared the link in the chat. Once I have that fixed and proper, I'll start the commercial progress. But accountability. Accountability was I got that book up, and I've spent the last few days boxing around to get it formatted and done, and actually accepted. I think I'm on format copy 4 or 5. These things happen. However, I will keep you praised to that, and the mission to get at least 2 more publications out by the end of the year, which means I have less than a month. I'm feeling psyched, though. I think I can pull it off. But I have a topic to talk about after I go through and see how everybody's doing. There's been something I've seen going around that kind of got to me. It started to irk me, and I want to discuss it here because I think it's important. But we can get to that if there, depends on how things are doing. Other than that, let's see how you guys are. First through the door is, oops, I have to get rid of that banner for a moment because I don't. Let me see. Yes, because we plugged Joe. Joe's going to make a commercial so I can plug him more formally. Plugging Joe is a hobby. Anyhow, boom cha. First through the door is Richie Asplund. Morning, folks. Remember to tip your host. Then put him right side up and leave him like you found him. Wow. Okay, but I will take a tip. If you wish to send me anything, financial support, requests, show topic requests, feel free to PayPal me at paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. I will gladly and gleefully provide a thank you to that. Can't get money if you don't ask, and we'll keep right on going down. Accountability for Mr. Rich Asplund Jr. Whoops. Accountability, Jack All. Totally not Jack. Yeah, I know Jack. How's he doing? I haven't seen him in a while. I put more world building into... Wait. I have put more world building in 4 and 2 several of my future projects to shut the voices the heck up so I can focus on the 2 things I should be. We've all been there. There is nothing quite like the productive procrastination of I thought that was it. Of the vaguely ADD, ADHD riddled mind. I have gotten so much done by not doing what I'm supposed to be doing that I've almost circled back around to being able to do what I was supposed to do. And for more on that, you need to see my secret not my secret folder, my secret Post-it notes on my sticky notes on the screen, which you don't get to see because there's stuff there that no one should know about yet. Like, what? You already have more irons in the fire? Always. But let's see what Michaela Jade. Hey, Michaela, how you doing? How was your hunting? I hope you bagged a big one. That's awesome, Rich. At least the voices are talking. Some authors go through spells where their voices don't talk. Hey, Rich and Michaela. Hey, Donna. Morning, Michaela. Morning, Donna. Okay, we got some stuff. And hey, Donna. Hope you guys are safe on your journey, either coming back or still enjoying things. Look forward to seeing you. There we are. There's Donna. Tonight in the room that is green. But go after my show. Watch the Historical Fencing Guild live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then 7 p.m. Central. And then hop on over to the Secret Humor group because, there's a lot to be done there. Tonight on that channel, we'll be discussing gift ideas for your for the swordsman or sword lady in your life. Hey, Donna. Morning, Michaela. Morning, Donna. How's the shoulder, Rich? Ooh, what's this? Now, Richie had shoulder surgery. Better this morning. Can even raise it further than I could last night. That's awesome. That's what we want to hear, Richie. Cool. Bingos. My PT told me to keep reps of 10 at a time, no more, and start out like 80% of what I could do and my way up. Works pretty well for me. Richie says, my surgeon wants me to have it above my head 5 minutes of every hour to break up the scar tissue. I'm working on trying to get it above my head. Well, I hope that works out. But I'm still able to raise it twice as far as I have in almost a year. Beautiful, Rich. Good morning, everyone. Joe says, I had a meeting at the park this morning, but hopefully I'll be there beyond before the show ends. I know. But the parting, the distance, it's so agonizing, Joe. Okay, no, Joe B. Yo, good morning. We got more greetings. Accountability. Carl has accountability, and good morning, Carl. Actually wrote a page on the spy novel, did some editing, rearranged the timeline to make sense, and worked on someone else's covers. Book covers, that is. He's working on book covers. He's making money working on book covers for other people. It's Carl Witzman, and he's doing stuff. Anyway, since I have a track record of writing in the past, I don't like to tell beginners I don't spit out a bunch of words to edit later. By the time I'm done with it in my head, it's almost ready to publish by the time I type it. See, depends on the service. If I'm doing a researchy project, I get you. But when I'm doing fiction, I don't know where it comes from. It's not like I plot it. I just sit in, my eyes roll back in my head, and I start typing even more clumsily than I do now, usually. And I just watch the movie and walk around it in 3D and poke things and nudge things and do it till the characters let me go. You guys don't transcend the mortal plane and have to follow your way back on the silver thread of consciousness to your body? I thought that was everybody's writing process. Anyway, don't let go of the string. I haven't touched Where in a couple of weeks, and I need to look at it. Look at the Chandler to see if there's anything I feel needs to be done for the anthology. Okay, cool. Good morning, one and all. Happy Friday. Yay. Oh, we got our own Kat Rothamel. She was kind enough to give me a commercial. So if she's going to give me a commercial, y'all are going to get a commercial. Comment dumps. Hold on. I'd comment.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
That's right, folks. Oh God, I'm so happy because that hashtag let Kat art, and you know what, she is mercilessly, boldly, defiantly going out and seizing and like, I am going to art, I am going to write, I'm going to create, and woe be on those who would dare attempt to stop her. I am so very excited to see Kat art. I'm so excited to see where she's going with stuff, and it's inspiring me to go new directions. 2023 is looking interesting. I'm not going to do that thing where 2023 is going to be my year. Hexes it every time. But 2023 is looking interesting for everyone in my circle. I'm seeing people, everybody's building plans and piling little things together. You know, ideological pyramids ascending, demonstrating the glory of higher thought. It is beautiful. Back to the comments. And we had a comment dump, so I have to find where I was. All right. Carl Witzman, ready to mute. LOL. Okay, friends, it is safe to move your volume to the upright position. And Frog G is in the house. Frog G's books. Nick's books, Amazon.com/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert II. That's me, proper name. I could go by Lord, but having it is comfortable. Going by it may be a touch pretentious. Plus, if I go by Lord, then I have to acknowledge it, which could be problematic. Anyhow, what am I up to? Even I don't know. But I know one thing.
We've all read the story. The brave hero conquers the diabolical villain and rescues the damsel in distress. But this is real life, and in real life, stories don't always have happy endings. Frog G, the story of a man turned into a frog by a voodoo priestess sent on a mission to kill a god by death itself. Now our hero must roam the underworld to regain his humanity and win back the woman he loves.
Frog is fighting the good fight to get that to on demand. I believe he has achieved it, and if he has, awesome. Hey, Frog, I'm gonna say Michaela. Frog, Carl's gonna see Michaela, BKM, and tomorrow, and other authors tomorrow at the Hoosier Indie Authors Book Fair. Saturday, November 26th, 9 to 1, Honeywell Center, 275 Market Street, Wabash, Indiana. Now, I was blocked for that, and some relatives caught the disease thou shalt not mention, and now I have other sliding scale plans. It's very, very strange. It's been an odd year. But folks, if you have a chance to get down there, it's a great chance to meet some wonderful people, mingle with some great authors and creatives, and just have a good time. I hope you can be there. And if you are, give my affection to the other authors as frequently as your body and hydration allow. Now, Frog G is throwing up Joe's bit.ly. Thank you, Frog. bit.ly/JB Tech Apps, because Joe actually is the sponsor of our program. Hi, Donna. Hail all. And perhaps meet Joe Bachman in person. The man, the myth, the legend. Hey, Frog. Michaela. Let's see. Oops. And there's another comment dump. Wow. Okay, y'all. I'm glad to see you so busy. Morning, all. Morning, Nick. Why is the thumbnail character running from the cooked turkey? Well, friends, last year, right about this time, about the time I was doing that, I created. At that time I was the DM / GM / semi master ceremonies for Red Valkyrie Presents Dice Dames and Dudes. Ooh, I even got it out in one. That's scary. And it was going to be my final episode running the show. I was bordering on some very scary medical issues, and I wasn't showing it nearly as not much as I should, but I was in very, very bad shape physically. I was exhausted. I was in agony all the time because they were trying to figure out why my nerves, why I felt like I was on fire, literally. And what I did on my way out, because I wanted to give something back, because I didn't think I was coming back, and I tried to come back. I did a test run with them, and I just couldn't do it. And I found out that's why I don't do late night broadcasts anymore. I ended the campaign arc that they wanted to put them somewhere else off my IP. But on the way out, I gave them a gift of a mini adventure they didn't know was coming, called Pranksgiving. And in that mini adventure, the characters who had been portaled out of the world that I had created to go off into whatever shenanigans the new DM was doing materialized in a low-res mobile phone version of a world that was a gigantic Thanksgiving table. And they had to fight their way through 6 dishes that turned into monsters. The final boss of that little mini adventure was the legendary Gobbles Magillicutty. Gobbles Magillicutty being a legendary dragon / giant turkey that spewed acidic gravy everywhere. So, in homage to that little thing, I felt the need to resurrect the ghost of Gobbles Magillicutty and loose them on the page for sheer SNG, as we used to say. And honestly, those of us who ate a little too much turkey yesterday may be feeling the lingering effects of Thanksgiving overindulgence. So it seemed in theme. So that, Joe D. McPhee, is why Gobbles Magillicutty is chasing down a harmless goblin, hence Gobbles and a goblin. Yeah, double down for Thanksgiving. A harmless little goblin girl. Check that out, and you can see the art and you can see the art on my DeviantArt account, because I haven't taken that down yet. I have to investigate what's going on there. We shall see. And you can see the video of the live stream right here on the Nicholas Tockert channel, which you are subscribed. Like this video if you like it. Comment always. But share it if you enjoy what we do and you want to help promote others. But, friends, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. And while we're talking about things you don't miss, let's not miss Joe.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Yep, Joe puts on a good show. And Frog G is plugging Michaela's books. And Carl is plugging Joe D. Well, at least greeting him. And want more Michaela, you can go to authormichaelajade.com, and happy to see it. And what's this? The Rising Tide broadcasters are talking about Amazon.com/arts Art Tales 1 ebook with that site. And so am I. That tells you it took me about 25 minutes to get where I was at the start of the program. But that, guys, it's a fun little book. It will any tweaks, don't like, comment, and freak out in the tweaks. If there's anything wrong, message me direct because I'm trying to fix it. Amazon's being extra finky. It's the end of NaNoWriMo, and all the people who succeeded are plugging up the submission. It happens every year. So just let me know and tell me if you enjoy the art. Tell me this is a very different project for me. And it may be the last time I use the current system for writing that I'm using. I need something a little different for my formatting because I'm tired. I do a lot of image heavy work, and I am tired of just this grind fest of things not formatting like I want to. So we will see. From the desk of Small Press Publisher, it is Frog G's linking. Want more? Jody, link.tree/SivBolt. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Blue Teddy at Blue Teddy Narrations on YouTube.com. A wonderful little program with a wonderful little host. Good morning. Fight back and win the good fight for your paperback, Nick, and mucho congrats. Thank you. That's months of artwork to get that done. A lot of hours and hours of work that went into that little project. So I'm hoping it does well. And if it doesn't, I'll know not to continue the series. I mean, it's just that simple. Hi, Blue Teddy. Available on demand at IGG. That's great to confirm. Check out Frog G, Voodoo, Gods, and Magic at that link below. Thank you, Frog. Hey, Blue Teddy. Nick, Masters of Word Formatter 2, the world publisher. Don't act like I would not know that theme when I hear it. Oh, God. Tickle the algorithm, smash the like, dingle the bells, and subscribe. Yes, folks, we need to get more subscriptions here because the more people I can get eyes on this channel, the more people get eyes on the important people being in the chat. And like I said, I have some big things coming from Luke Stone. I have some big things planned for next year. A lot of hard work is starting to come to fruition, and I'm trying to knock things out so I have less in the way. But let's see what we have. I just got accepted for Drafts to Digital Beta program for print books. If this works out, it will be a nice alternative to the Zon. Keep us informed because I'm telling you, I like getting my paychecks from the Zon. The Zon and I are good associates, but when it comes to the submission, it is rough. Let's see. Another comment dump. So let's see what we got. Carl Wichman says, used my credit card points to buy the new book, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Tell me what you think about it. It's a little rough, but it's a fun little jaunt into the fragmented places in my mind. So let me know sincerely, and you'll comment. Oh, you know all that stuff. Love you, Frog. Thanks for posting my links. We all love Frog. Michaela says so. Yeah, count yourself lucky. How are the assorted other projects coming, Michaela? Let us know. Accountability took a break from rendering PSN number 4 to send out a newsletter this morning. If you are on my newsletter list, you will know what I gave out in it. Oh, see, that's how it's done. We have to hop on the newsletter thing. And part of what we all should be doing, and this is me talking to myself too, is making sure we have the backup email lists and stuff of our fans, because Twitter is a major platform, and it looks like it's having some issues right now. I'm seeing a lot of people who swore off Facebook popping up on Facebook as a back off from the insanity that is Twitter, making my feed much more purple. I used to have a red feed on Twitter and a blue feed on Facebook, and I'm getting back to the purple feed again, if that makes any sense. Hey, Jody, and apparently I can barely English this morning. You're in good company. I barely English all the time, but it's part of my charm. It's what keeps this goofy channel goofy, and you guys like that. Also, you'll get better. You had surgery, Rich. Also, updated the company website a bit. More changes to come. That's great to hear. I love hearing progress and motivation. Morning, Donna, Carleen. Good looking out at Ted's Black Friday sale. Oh, I didn't know Ted had a Black Friday sale. And please don't forget to like this video if you like it, that is. That's right. And if you dislike it, there is a dislike button. You're more than welcome to hit that. It will hurt my feelings, and it will mean you'll see less of me. But, I mean, if you really actually have an issue, as long as you're civil, I don't mind you saying it publicly. Put it out there. Tell me what I'm doing. Let's discuss. This is a true talk show. This is like the radio shows of old over on WNTF. Never mind the furthermore. And I do apologize if my voice is cracking and scratchy. I went and I played with my nephews and nieces yesterday. And any large gathering of Tockers, there aren't many of us. We realized of those in America, 90+% were there. It got rough. Not bad. We had a wonderful time. But vocally, you get to have fun shouting and playing, and you feel it later. I'll do some more Daz Studio this Saturday, talk about the importance of Small Business Saturday. Wonderful. Let's see. Mikhail says, nope, no food this time. I have one more weekend. Hopefully I'll get some then. Best of luck, darling. And big smiles from Donna Carleen. And happy Friday from Cindy Cat. Okay, Cindy Cat mentioned a little while ago on one of my shows about having some spare glucosamine conjoined, and we use that around here. So I asked, and she's like, if anybody wants, I'll send it to her. She was kind enough to send me that and a Christmas package. Now, I have a wrapped Christmas package, which means I have to dig out my little Christmas tree, dust it off, and slide it under there, because that's what one does. I still have my original Christmas tree for my trailer. It is a little 3-foot tall dude. I don't. We have other we have like a bigger Christmas tree that's traditional. But I set up, dust off the little trailer. The one I got for my trailer after Christmas, that's like, I love it because it's a metal piece, a chunk of metal, a chunk of wood that's been hammered, and then like a fake Christmas tree, little Christmas tree's just been wedged into this wood. It was meant to be an outside decoration. I love it. Every year it goes up. So that little present's the first present of Christmas, and I am so honored that you sent something nice to me. Thank you, Cindy. And now I'm sitting there watching the package. So I'm very excited. Thanks from the desk of a small press publisher. It's the least I can do, and I always do the least I can do. See? At least you're consistent, Donna. But wait, if you always do the least can you do, what does that say about Carl? Anyway, want some big stompy robots? How about some instructional stuff on swords, axes, and spears? I know my own link, really. It's not like I spend so much time publishing everybody else's that I can say my own. www.amazon.com/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert. The second, and then E, and then gobbledygook. DeviantArt.com/Nick T for cool arts. Thanks for playing my commercial. Oh, I love playing your commercial because I'm so glad that you did it. I see you doing different things and kind of taking jumps, and it's awesome. And it inspires me to do more because I got disheartened by my failed attempt to become an Amazon merchant. And I'll admit that one kind of took the knees out from under me a little bit. So I will be looking into Zazzle, I think, because you're using it and I respect your opinion. I need to get some merch out. Don't forget to tip your host. Yes, if you wish. And I feel like such a shill doing this, but paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. Feel free. Anything you wish to give me will be gleefully appreciated. Okay, and there's a massive comment dump. Yay! Boom, 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 boom. Let me find. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, wait. Wish more have site where I can promote easily. Wish more had have sites where I can promote easily. Okay. Well, that's a good point too. People need easy to promote sites. Now, once I get through these 3 submissions, well, 2 now. Well, I'll say 2.5 because I have to fix the formatting on one. Then, bam! I'm going to be revamping Tockert.com. I had revamped it. The updates didn't go, and I've lost my book of knowledge. So I have to find my book of knowledge to do so. But good things are coming there. Folks, get yourself a website or get a patron. And Joe Bachman truly is a patron and a friend. And just one of the most awesome people on earth. And we, dear friends, will we can exist beyond the social media sphere, which I feel is necessary. I'm watching, much like when MySpace crashed, and here's to all the friends on AIM Instant Messenger who knew Lord Bastion, and all the friends on Yahoo who knew a guy by the name of Ulrich Starson. Here's to you. I hope you had a merry time. And I hope you're doing well. That's part of why I gave up the anonymity. I lost too many friends that couldn't find me when things crashed. My foes can find me too, but they will not find me ill-prepared. Anyway, the Historical Fencing Guild is at 7 p.m. Central's Friday. Yes, please go there and subscribe. I do a lot of fun work there. And I got some stuff going on. So good things are coming there. Neurosis may be found here at, that's Amy Hales. And even though she doesn't come to the show anymore because of her scheduling, I'll run her commercial. Now, let's see what else we have coming down the side. Santa Sign season is here. Smashwords.com/book/Brian K. Morris. Yes, that's Santa Stein, the post-holiday Prometheus. What a wonderfully bizarre and delightful thing Brian put up. And he's doing more things. The return of Clever title pending with, oh, God, what? I'm trying to remember his guest's name. The Master of Dark Sticky Magic. Master Ron. It fell out. That's no bashing on him. That's a bashing on me. No wonder my day's all wonky. My knife was on backwards. You'll want to leave a review too. Amazon reviews made less than possible. Amazon.com/Brian K. Morris. And that link. Bear Publications has all the fun sci-fi at bearpublications.com. Get some Animal Eye merch. bit.ly/bearpub. Check out all the fun stuff Pops Van Zandt is doing. Royal Cruise does Animal Eye art at his own Kali. Royal Cruise also has customized stuff at subscribestar.com. And while we are here for the hurting, boom, 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 boom. Help for the hurting, Victoria Adams' amazing work on Amazon. And before I get back to that comment, I feel we need to throw some love to our own Sidney Koepp General Promo. Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. A father searches for his missing daughter while his friends seek answers. Negotiations are difficult, but they're harder when the negotiator has an ego the size of a gas giant. A regent, rather trained Griffin, protects her brother's throne from the assassins and political rivals. During his first solo negotiation, Thomas has to trust his only help, the doctor he blames for the death of his last partner. Battling her grief, Amaya helps Ed protect Los Palmos from a better equipped criminals in spite of a belligerent boss. Negotiations between the human and the nature's body are scheduled to happen at Amaya's station despite the threats from criminals and powerful allies. Play the quick, fun game from the stars based on the game from the Yushan duology. With only a rapier under her wing and an unexpected ally, Royal Courier, Idea races across the continent. Gamers play Feisty Crow, a large dog, help teacher resources that cover an array of topics from 4th and 5th grade, adjustable for skill levels. Books, dragons, quilts, Afghans, custom orders. I'm getting there, folks. I'm not as fast as I used to be, but every once in a while playing the reading Cindy Koepp's ad game actually does help. I have a lot of speech impediments that it's taken me a long time to get as good at speaking as I am, which is nightmarish when people consider just how much a verbal disaster I can be. However, going through that is a wonderful every other day exercise. So not only do I get to advertise the wonderful works of Cindy Koepp, but I get to get the wheels greased in my mouth and jaw so I can keep moving at the speed and energy level you guys have come to expect. Now, now I have to find. Let's see. Jody, are you promoting with Indie/Nita? Indie Nita. Bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum. Although when Nita's cracking a whip, it's not usually for travel. Okay, so I'm going to have a heck of a time editing all my voice detection and probably have a good chuckle too that I do daily during my daily breaks at school. I've been taking a ton of pictures of, well, all in the name of book 4 of Diary of a Classroom Teacher, which is lovingly titled Children of the Corn. Oh, God, that's so good. That's so good. Here's the FB link for my Diary of a blank classroom teacher. Please throw that link in the chat somewhere. Okay, Frog. Jody is waiting. Still let me know if you still need to promote the comic. Still can make time for you to come on and talk about it. Well, look, even if not, you have access to the secret advertisers folder. You know, I have several secret folders on YouTube that you know, I've been known to put up public folders for special projects, but secret folders for people who submit, you know, their ads and stuff. They're all there. Get on there and just copy Frog's ad out to your stuff and promote him there. That's part of why it's set up that way. Even if he can't come on, you can run his commercial. Frogs are heroes too. Frog G, God's magic and more. I just bungled everything. Anyway, Trolls are heroes too. Amazon.com/SL Roland. No. This is only on my show and platform. No tag teaming for me. Okay. Custom web design and toys, Studio Hubris, wixsite.com/Studio Hubris 5. Red Valkyrie, Dice Names and Dudes. Season 1 with the best Season 1 DM Nick. The playlist. Thank you. Thank you, Frog. QuadCon, and yeah, if you want to see shenanigans, there are shenanigans on that program. It is not for the young or the sane, or yeah, that was me having fun. QuadCon Comic and Toy Show / cool stuff, geeky fun around the Midwest. HEBS QuadCityComicCon.com. Anthologies there. that put a twist on the common stories. YeOldDragonBooks.com/meet the dragons. Okay, Jody. Denver Martinez does animalized colors and other art. StephenArt.com/the-regular-old-5. Sorry, I had a bit of frog in my throat. Well, I'm off to fetch Christmas decor out of the mini storage for my hubster. Have a great day. Everyone keep on keeping on. Kisses and hugs. Kisses and hugs. Got to love Cat Rothmel. Voice acting. www.facebook.com/SkunkRockerLive for all your voice acting needs. No turkey, plenty of crab dishes, though. That's right, because you went to the Chinese food buffet, and that sounds wonderful. Cindy Koepp says, back of the cereal box tomorrow. Morning at 8 a.m. Central. Awesome. Oh, what's that? Michaela's got a pack for the trip to Indiana. Catch you on the flip-flop. Yeah, a lot of people are cutting out early, and that's okay. I understand, folks. This is Black Friday is a big deal for a lot of folks. Decoverse Tales and Magic, John B. Pike on Amazon.com. I may need to talk about how I may need to be less apprehensive in doing collaborations. I'm sorry. Do you hear that in the distance? Hallelujah. I can hear it now. Jody McPhee taking on more collaborations, working together to make a better world. I can say it. I tell you. An obscure reference to one of my favorite movies of all time. Bonus points to people who know who I'm trying to reference. Yeah. Good evening, Bonsert. Well, with Bonsert of Radio Retro Future sliding on in, we know we got to run one of his amazing ads.
Greetings, fellow traveler. I am Dankard Lexicon. You're either here because somebody directed you here, or because of the strange currents inside the algorithm. In either case, welcome to Radio Retro Future, where we talk about steampunk and other forms of retrofuturism in pop culture. What is steampunk? Well, I'm glad you asked. Steampunk is a combination of science fiction and alternate history, wrapped in a delicious dough of Victorian pulp fiction and modern-day pop culture tropes. You still want to know more? Go check out our ongoing Steampunk Beginner's Guide, the series which explores the genre, aesthetic and culture. Or you can check out the community's musicians, inner teledrama, steampunk music for Fallout. Yes, a actual steampunk-themed radio station for the game Fallout 4 that is part of the mod Old World Radio 2. Or you can check out the Radio Retro Future podcast, where we have interviews with writers and other types of creators within the international community. On our second channel, the Retro Future Research Foundation, on the other hand, we have story videos like Tales of the SCP Foundation, readings of Lovecraft and related writers, lore explanation, and hopefully our very own narrated series of our original short stories called The Association of Ishtar. If you can't wait for the narrations, you can read The Association of Ishtar by following the link down below. That is what we do in a nutshell, and if you want to get involved, join our Discord community where stuff happens. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bid you adieu, and as always, make things your way.
Oh, I love that ad so much, Bonsert. Hope you are doing well. Let's see what's going on in the chats. 1 second. Cindy Koepp is plugging nerd culture at that YouTube link. Frog G is hailing Radio Retro Future. And there's just something glorious about hailing somebody whose handle is at radio something. It hits me. And Radio Retro Future's YouTube link. Click it. Go. You want more? Go to the Association of Ishtar. Be a doll, won't you? Anyway, Amazon take over a small publisher desks. That Cindy kept throwing Jody's link at youtube.com/sitbolt. Warriors are everywhere. Hybrids at lukestonestudios.com. And be sure to follow fundmycomic.com, Luke Stone's new crowdfunding service. He's trying to bring crowdfunding back to the smaller creators so that there's less things like the shadow violence that happened over, well, frankly, they don't tell you why. Several people just are not elected to be promoted, even though they're doing well or whatever. And when it's one of the people I consider one of my own, I get a little crunchy about that. So does Luke. And one nice thing about Luke is when something bugs him, he does something about it. So there is that. Thank you, Frog G. Zombies in Oz, Eric S. Hawkins on Comixology. Oh my gosh. Oh, Instagram /Alex_Alice Art. Radio Retro Future sharing that link. Cool. Check out my friend Alex Alice on Instagram. He has an amazing Kickstarter. Very cool. Boo. Yes. No. I ran out of break before I ran out of links. Sigh. Sartin Art 76 for vintage cartooniness. Don't forget to tip your host. Sign up for the Rising Tide newsletter. Sign up for patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild and patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and Cindy Koepp. So if I buy this book, I get to see how a cryptid thinks. I'm not sure I actually included a cryptid theme in there. And hi, Johnny. And Johnny, stay safe. There's a bit of political unrest near Johnny without outing anybody about anything. But keep him in your thoughts and prayers and be thankful for the safety you have today. I think it's great hearing from you, Johnny. I don't know if you saw it. I crashed one of the regeneration cycles on Red Valkyrie Presents and went full Brother Love, trying to get them some extra money because they're going through some stuff too. So, folks, head over to Red Valkyrie Presents and to Red Valkyrie on YouTube and check them up. And everybody's greeting Johnny. Check them up. Hook them up. They're awesome folks. Radio. Is this in the book? To Castle in the Stars, the universe in 1875 Kickstarter. Oh, is that the book? Castle in the Stars, the universe in 1875 on Kickstarter. Ooh, that does sound like a jam. And everybody's greeting Johnny. And Blue Teddy says, my mom spent so much time in the early 2000s convincing me that everyone on the internet is an axe murderer. I'm pretty invested in the anonymity, even if I know it's silly. No, okay. Let's talk about that for a second. Anonymity is a choice. And if it is a choice, if it maintains and if it gives you comfort and it helps you create, by all means, pen names exist for a reason. I have several friends. I did cover art for a male romance author by the name of Kivrin St. James. They can't have their other name out because if it were, they could have issues with their employment and family issues. So I understand the necessity and the power of anonymity. However, it came at the price that when the social media network broke down, the old school ones, the AIM Instant Messenger, the YouTube chat groups, things like that. Not YouTube, Yahoo. I had GeoCities. We're going to the way back era. Lost a lot of people who are important to me. And after 20, 30 years, you lose track of even their call signs. because I do have severe memory issues. So I have to fight that. So I understand and I support. Like, I think doxing is a horrific thing for anybody to do to anybody, and why you would do that just blows my mind. I respect privacy. I mean, unless something illegal has occurred, then you're out the window. But no, I understand and I respect that. And I think that you're looking at from a mature, safe space. But I had attempted that a little bit and I got found out. Not that Nick T was any great, obfuscation, but I was given the choice, stay employed, stop being online on DeviantArt and stay a substitute teacher, or risk having this kind of issue constantly forever. And I decided that in my situation, I couldn't give up the art. I couldn't do it. I couldn't give up being what I am. And so I walked a path. I don't know if it's the correct path, but it is the path I walked and that I have to walk. So it's up to you. And I totally commend the folks who it gives them the freedom to do what they need. I would rather have people be happy and comfortable than know stuff about them I don't necessarily need to know. So you're fine, hon. And Pops Van Zat says, hi, it's Cindy, Nick in the chat. Hi, Pops. We've plugged your channel a couple times. We've got a comment down. Okay. Not all of us are axe murderers. Some of us are tax evaders. Richie. I am not. I pay my taxes. I also support the Constitution and the United States government. And I want to make that clear. I may criticize, I may question, but I do believe that the system has the potential to be the greatest manifestation of human governance, assuming we keep to it. Now, I will hold the corporations accountable for their meddling and that sort of thing, but I do believe that the Constitution is one of the most beautiful documents ever crafted by humanity, right up there with the Declaration of Independence, which I actually have a very lovely copy of, the pre-copy, a editor's copy of the Declaration of Independence downstairs. I'm going to be redoing large parts of my home very soon, and I'm hoping to probably put that somewhere more prominent because it's very cool. But so yeah. Let's see. We will be playing Rolling Thunder tonight at the CromCon kickoff show. We have room for more players. Cool. Whew, that's relief, Rich. So anybody interested in that, reach out to Pops on that. Whoa, nobody warned me about tax evaders. Blue Teddy narrations. I do have an axe. Well, I have several in. Where the axe go? I mean, I'm not a murderer. I just like axes because here, this is my saw. This is a tactical axe. Isn't that pretty? This was a gift for me by Steve Clausen. But if you like axes and you are not a murderer, but you want to learn how to fight with axes, do remember that the fighting axe does exist and you can buy it on Amazon. It's a great gift for your loved ones. Your copy won't be as beat up as this one because I've dropped it many, many times going, woo, on my show. Frog G, yes. Had him on my podcast. Johnny freaking Cage. I knew it. Hey, Radio. Hey, Donna. CromCon is a wide open event this weekend. Anyone who wants to come out anytime to promote their stuff, well, that's cool. Folks, it's an opportunity. Reach out. Do it. Whoops. Comic Talks. Radio Retro Future. The Bonzer's talking to Pops. Let me know if you have a spot suitable for us old worlders. Hail, Pops. See you there, Michaela. The link will be pinned No real schedule. Just pop in whenever we are live. PM me on Facebook, please. I forget such things. See, I love seeing business done. See you later. And Pops, working on the trailer for my new next Kickstarter on Kickstarter. And check out what Eric Hawkins has drawn for the Association of Ishtar. Looks amazing. And we have another comment dump. Cool. Hi, Donna. I'm good. Writing, drawing naked women and facing existential dread, considering what to do when the abyss gazes back. Regular Friday. Johnny, if you need somebody to talk to, you have my DM. Slide in there. You're free to vent. I will be around. You know, my phone is never far from me. I'm serious, man. The system used to be the greatest, and now there's no. Okay, Pop says there's used to be the greatest. Now there's no great government. All government elites, yeah, and all global elites. That is a perspective. My job is to bring people together, and I believe that if people talk, if people can come to a consensus. There are more good people than there are bad people. I truly believe that. And the problem is the bad people are very loud and very motivated. And they excel at convincing people that that they can't do it. And my job is to convince people that they can. And, you know, if you want to change things, run for office. If you have the capacity and you feel you can do a better job at something, by all means, there are local elections fairly frequently. Run for office. Make the change you want to see. That's what I believe. But let's see. That used to be the greatest. Hey, Frog G. People who did reserve spots will have their time, obviously. Well, that makes sense. Another kind. Need to hop. Bye, Frog. Later, all you may you stay safe and safe. Comic says if people can talk, but when one side or the other is censored, no conversation is going on. The true global elites, the felines, are telling me it's time for their early lunch. So I'll say, everyone have a good day. All right. I'm going to say this because it is well on time for me to wind down. I do not believe in censorship. However, first and foremost, I believe in we'll say rigid civility. If you can't be polite, you don't get to be on. And I do believe formally and completely in accountability. So if you express an opinion that is rude, malicious, uninformed, or criminal, you should be held accountable for those actions, ranging from the, well, you know, put it mildly, they act like a dick. I think they're a dick. Done. If people can't handle being held responsible for what they say, then they should really not be speaking, because that's the price of communication. Once you put the price of communications, once you put your ideas out there, you can be held accountable for them. Now, an educatable person, someone who can learn, will look at the ideas of others and go, is this something I can accept or not? And if it is, groovy. If not, you just discard it. I am old-fashioned. I still believe in honor. I believe in civility. I believe in politeness. I believe in doing the right thing. I believe that there is a time and a place for actual aggression, but rarely does feigned aggression do anything. So I choose not to. I would far rather walk a peaceful path. But I don't condone, and that's the trick, I will not condone cruelty. I will not condone cruelty from, economic cruelty. I will not condone legal cruelty. I will not condone social cruelty. I will not condone personal cruelty. Now, my response to that may, there are times where I can simply say, I don't agree. I do not condone this and walk away. I live in a country where that's an option. I may and have removed people from my entire life with very little hesitation when certain lines are crossed because it's necessary. But I prefer civil discourse, because when civil discourse is exchanged with respect and actual education on the subject. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a degree or a diploma or some piece of paper saying you're educated. It's nice to have bona fides. But if you're going to discuss a topic, either admit your ignorance if you don't know what you're talking about, and either recuse yourself from the discussion, engage in the discussion with the intent of learning first and deciding later, or seek out and improve your own education on it. We're adults here. We live in an era where one can look up nearly anything. Information has never been this readily available. So I do think it's time for a lot of people to grow up. And this is not me taking a shot at Papa Sven's. This is me speaking to something that I've seen going on. And let's see. That's different from censoring. Exactly. I don't believe in censorship. I believe in accountability. With rare exception. We have to protect the people who are not able, the people and other entities who are not able to consent to a lot of things. That means children, animals, people with special needs. If you can't consent to things, and I don't just mean sexually, I mean financially, religiously, spiritually, emotionally. If you're not developed or functional enough to do that, you have to be protected. And that's a dangerous slope, and I understand that. That's why it has to be watched with such care and precision. But I don't like censorship. I would rather have somebody have a platform, and I put my money where my mouth is. I go on Luke Stone's show every week that it's on, and we talk about things, and many times I dramatically disagree with Luke, or I dramatically disagree with the chat. But everybody's civil, so we can. And sometimes I learn from them, sometimes they learn from me, and sometimes we agree to disagree. That's civility, and that's what we need in communication. Well, I can't believe I almost I forgot about Nevermind the Furthermore. It happens, Grant. We're glad you made it. Hi, guys, everybody. A lot of people have left, but we've got a surprisingly large audience, so I'm going to keep going. I leave Dick's behind, but I let others make their own call about these people. Right. That there's everyone, I believe. Oh, wait, let's see. I'm also not talking about individuals. I'm talking about mass censorship. I know exactly what you're talking about. You are referring to the fact that many people of a very specific conservative lean are censored, and there is some of that going on. This is why I will allow, as long as civility is maintained. No, and there's no conversation as long if one side is vilified and stifled. Perhaps the only caveat being, and that's not necessarily here, but I do believe in caveats. If a group has proven themselves to be an organization that is literally based on hate, they need to be removed from discussion. You don't shine light on that unless you're shining light to investigate it. And there are extremes. And whenever you get into the extremes that condone violence or things like that, they do need to be. And no, I'm not saying on either side, because I've heard it from many people, many different groups. But I will say in shorthand, if I hear groups associating with other groups that are known to be that way, I tend to go, you don't lay with dogs and not come back up with fleas. So I have to call things like a call, but I will have civil discussion. And that's why I prefer, instead of looking at people as groups, I prefer to talk to individuals instead of looking at political ideas as entire platforms. I prefer to look at issue by issue. Because what I have found, in all honesty, if we're serious when we talk to people, vast majority of time, issue by issue, I know. Okay, I'm still not talking about splinter sects. I'm talking about one side or the other censored as a whole. I understand. Pops, you are talking about how you feel about the conservative party, how you feel about how Republicans, especially MAGA Republicans, are represented in certain media. I fully understand what you are talking about. And you say it is dangerous. That's well and good. I don't censor people. However, I hold them to strict rules of civility that I hold myself to. And what you do in your yard, for me, it's a matter of rights. Okay. I believe that the rights in America, and we're going to get a little political here, I guess that's fine. I'm not afraid to wade in on certain subjects. And what I go on the concepts, okay? The big concepts that are important. My rights extend infinitely in all directions until they impinge on the rights of another, and then they immediately stop. Okay? So this is why I don't like says I was a librarian. I still consider myself a librarian. It would be the job if I were not in the situation with Xander and my health and stuff, I would prefer to be a librarian. So I don't condone censorship. Say what you want, but understand if it's a lie, you will be held accountable as a liar. And that's to everybody. If it's criminal, you'll be held accountable as a criminal to everybody. And if it's just plain dickish or wrong, same thing. And that's my take. That's why we have people on my shows that I disagree with sometimes. But I like the civility. Okay. Blue Teddy, hi Blue Teddy, says if I tried to define people by the groups they associate with, I wouldn't be able to stand anyone. Individualism is necessary for my sanity. Exactly. Exactly. Allow them to hang themselves, but allow them. Now, like I said, that's my thing. I dislike revisionist history, and I see that a lot. And I dislike cloaked history. And what I see often is there will be a historic event. And I want to know the truth. Okay, if it makes the guys I like look bad, then it makes the guys I don't want I like look bad. If it makes the people I agree with look good, cool. If it makes them look bad, then maybe I don't agree with them as much as I thought. Part of it is we need to get to the issues and the beliefs, not the cults of personality. When it's like, how do I put it? I cannot abide the bully. Okay? First off, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the greatest at sports or whatever. I cannot mechanically abide a bully. There are some things that I don't care what your political belief is. It is simply wrong for anyone to do them. And if the people do them, I hold them accountable. I hate learning. Pop says, I hate learning something I learned as fact. Seeing something I learned as fact suddenly rewritten to pacify feelings. Now, that is potentially a different thing. That depends. Is it accurate? Is it factually accurate? If it is factually, scientifically, empirically proven to be accurate, then you leave it alone. If it is something that has changed because we have new information, new perspective, it we get new information, we change things. That's how science should work. And the problem is we have lost the ability to acknowledge expertise. And for people to seek, people can't get past their own ego and seek the experts. If you want to write a law, for example, about cars, you want to talk car emissions, maybe you should talk to the engineers who design the cars, the mechanics who work on the cars, the people who test the emissions. Maybe you should seek informed. If you want to talk about something medical, well, you better be writing a law from the perspective of having talked to doctors who know what's going on. If you want to write laws about firearms, you better understand the basic mechanics of firearms. So it's all history is revisionist. It's a matter of perspective to an extent. So at my goal when approaching history and the people who write it is to look at their perspective and try to get to the first person accounts as quickly as possible. When you can take history and get from the level of looking at it from the perspective of something that occurred to talking to people who were there. For example, a lot of people have opinions on the Vietnam War. A lot of people demonized Vietnam veterans. I find that abhorrent. There was a lot of misinformation, a lot of lies, a lot of things that happened around that conflict. If you want to know about it, one of the best things to do is ask people who were there. I respect first-person information much higher than people talking about it. Like Mussolini, yeah, Johnny. I didn't say learned as fact. And the only caveat I'm saying, if you learned as a fact, and the fact has been mechanically disproven, that's one thing. If it's being rewritten, that's another. But you have to be very certain that it is mechanically been disproven. You have to do actual research. And I don't mean like a simple Google search, unless you're very good with Boolean terms. I mean actual research. I'm open to new evidence, but not omit truth to pacify people. Okay. And rewritten, not disproven. It sounds like you have a very specific issue that you're kind of dancing around without saying it. So without knowing the specifics of the issue, I can't either say I'm ignorant or I agree or let me research it. The three words that are hardest for people online to say, I don't know, without knowing the specific issue you're getting into. So until I have more information on what you're trying to get to, because you've said quite a few things without coming out and saying them. So I don't want to, no, in general. Well, then in general, that's too broad. I have to go case by case. It's been happening for 40 years. History's been rewritten and tinkered with for a lot longer than 40 years, Pops. The question, history, science, the perception of science, the perception of religion, without knowing specifics, I can't fully engage because the terrain is too nebulous for me. It's an interesting point. Now, I will take this and divert the point to, if we're going to talk about something mildly spicy for a little while, we'll talk about it. One thing I have seen lately, I understand you can only speak to the years you've experienced, but you're doing so in such a broad term that I am having trouble. It's hard to reference. Hold on. Ow. Okay. Hard to reference the response to it. The history of history being tinkered with is a fun thing it absolutely is. And At this point, I'll lay down my bona fides. I have a bachelor's degree in liberal studies from Purdue University. I had a triple primary focus and a double secondary. My triple primary focus was in English, business, and history. My double secondary was in psychology and sociology. So I tend to look at facts and history from a web perspective, not just the thing. How is it connected to the economics? How's it of the time? How's it connected to the predominant religious beliefs? How is it connected to the personal psychology, the economic stratification of the time? Everything exists, and it has ripples out on so many fields that to look at it, you have to take a concept and really spin it around 3D and see what it's connected to, what's influencing it. See, I've watched the history books changing, leaving out so much what we know happened, watering down where we actually came from. And again, I'd have to know. I have seen a lot of changes in history and its depiction, but I also want to. I would need specifics, omitting truth or some of the story for the sake of feelings. Of many cases, the truth is the truth, but it does not have feelings. That's what I'm talking about. Well, okay, we have to talk. There's a difference between truth and facts. Truth is the perception of the facts. That can get fuzzy. And there are people who will keep it fuzzy. For example, something I wanted to talk about. I've got a red marker going, so I don't know what that's about. But I see what happened. It highlighted. Sorry. I got a weird alarm on my stream. It didn't look right. There is a concept I'm seeing right now called superiority through negativity, which it may be in part what Pops is kind of angling around. It's you have a very interesting way of talking about an issue from the sidelines. I find it fascinating, but yeah, okay. Now see that. Now we have something I can work with. The Trail of Tears, for example, they've watered it down to what those people went through. So much people. Yes, that's that process. Now I understand your framework. Yes, there is a yes. That sorry, I scrolled around a bit. That is true. History tends to, shall we say, Disneyfy past events. It's what I mean by Disneyfy. If you read the classic historical fairy tales, they are much grimmer, more violent, more horrific in many cases. Cinderella has a lot of foot mutilation, for example. And the Disney one is a cleaner, more palatable version. History does that. Now you have that, and then you have an alternate, which is neat because it ties into the point almost of what I was talking about, superiority through negativity. I had people messaging me, frankly. Yes, okay. Now that I get. Yes, seeing the glossy version. There are two sides to this, and this is fascinating because I had people messaging me, enjoy Thanksgiving, but remember it's a genocidal holiday. And I believe that for some things, there is no good coming out of taking the joy of what has become a American celebration of family, of gratitude, of just love, and citing that, well, after what happened with the Pilgrims and the Indians, there are massacres and genocide, and it's all very real. But I ask, what good does it do to say that right now? We should know and we should understand, but we also should be allowed to enjoy things. And there are people who will look for historical precedent that may be tied to any given event to literally gleefully sap the joy out of others. And I find that problematic. Okay. And we see our grandkids getting the glossy version. I think it's fair. If you think your kids are too young to learn the real version of the story, don't teach it to them. Wait till they're older and teach them the real version. 100% grant. There are ways to teach difficult things to children. What I find, because I've worked in schools for quite some time, education was one of my major things. You see, Blue Teddy says, yeah, as a kid, I preferred "I'll tell you when I'm older" to finding out I'd been lied to. Yeah, they didn't candy coat stuff. And that's the trick. You could explain something without candy coating, but you also don't have to slather it in cayenne pepper either. What you do is you give a simplified version. And there's a difference between a simplified and a sanitized version. You can say about the Trail of Tears that the Native Americans were rounded up and shoved off their property, and they had to go on this nightmarish hike, and many people died, and it was very, very bad, and they lost their homes. And you can explain it to that level of clarity, and you give dates and stuff, and you that conveys in a way that a child can understand. This happened. It was bad. We don't want it to happen again. And then as they get older, you can go into more detail, more stuff. It's not this is not candy coating, and I do see that. I do see a lot of what you're talking about, because now I understand the point you're going on. You tell children simplified, like, for example, I'm a Christian, and I read the Bible to my son. My son is autistic. He has delayed development. So what I do is, when I read from the Bible, and I read from the King James Version, that's the these and the thous. That's a lot. I then stop and I go back over at the end of it, I go back over the chapter and I talk. Here's a slightly simpler, more plain English version from this is the best of my understanding. And I ask questions and we talk about it. It takes time. It's not candy coat. We are currently only reading the New Testament because, one, it's the only one. The only way I could get it in very, very large font for my vision problems. And two, that is the set that is necessary for his development right now. We need to focus on love and kindness and the price for spiritual development. And that's on me. I'm the head of my household. I'm the dad. That comes with certain responsibilities in my personal culture, my family culture. That's not one I think anybody should have an issue with, because it's not your business. But that's how I do it. That means I have to teach him about cars. I have to teach him about laws. I went through the pandemic, okay, and all the civil unrest with a special needs kid to the point where we were watching the news and the riots were going on and they showed tanks in the streets. And he came out and he went, "Yay!" I went, what? Because they're going to shoot the virus. Working with that level of logic, you have to simplify, but not candy code. Ironically, and I'm going to go into this because I think it's important, and if it bothers anybody, that's fine. You know, I catch flack because my son does not watch some programs that I feel are inappropriate for him, and many of those that involve fictionalized depictions of violence. Not the way you would think. I don't like him watching shows where violence doesn't have consequences. So he watches very little of the slapstick cartoon humor, and I certainly won't allow SpongeBob in my house. And that's my house is my dictation. But we watch NCIS. You know, and programs of that. People get shot. And occasionally we watch programs that involve warfare. And I want him to see that weapons hurt people and there are real consequences. Because for me, that is a far more important education. Now, as he gets older and, you know, he is delayed development, he's still developing. We put in funnier programs. You know, we could watch something like Looney Tunes now if we chose to and laugh at it because he's starting to get a break, you know, slowly building the break between fantasy and reality. And where violence is concerned, he has to understand the reality. And it's not pleasant. It's not something I want to teach him. I want to teach him happiness. I want to teach him joy. And I do. But I also have to teach him the real world has consequences. Actions have consequences. I have trained him not to touch firearms if he sees them. That if he sees a firearm that's in an unexpected place, he comes and he gets me. Or mom or an adult he can trust. And stays away from. Not to run screaming, you know, but to stay away. He understands that. And that's how I would approach the teaching of history and the teaching of current events to children. Now, in this world of fast, constant 24-hour feed, our news agencies do spin stuff. When it's slow, they spin it up. When it's against their different political leanings, they will lean it. So you have to do the research to see what is leaned where and get your news from multiple resources, both, you know, for American news networks and international to get perspectives. You want to know what's going on. You want to be informed. You have to do the work. And as creators, I believe our job is to inform, enlighten, entertain, build, and tell good stories. So, and how we tell our stories, artistically, literarily, you know, typed out in words, in song, however we project the story is what matters. The story is what. And when we're doing nonfiction, it's still a story, especially if it's a historical account. You're doing the best with the research. That's why, there are so many systems for citing your sources. So if you're writing a historical account, you're citing your sources. Please do that and take it seriously. But that all being said, even if you know, it's like the United States as a country has done things historically that were not right. The internment camps for the Japanese during World War II, we don't talk about that a lot. The Trail of Tears, the treatment of women and minorities, slavery, the treatment of children for decade, for a few hundred years there. Environmental things. You tell the story, you tell the truth, you can still be proud of yourself. I've made mistakes, but I've tried to make amends. I'm proud of me. I get to celebrate the 4th of July and be proud to be part of an American. But I am proud not in the glossy, fast way. I am proud in the understanding, to the best of my ability, the history, where we came from, where we are, where we can go, and what opportunities we are afforded. That is important. Well, let's see. No, I think it's okay to say that we should celebrate Thanksgiving but acknowledge the Pilgrims. Right. But it's okay to do that. But you shouldn't. What I find is people will weaponize that simply to steal joy. They're not doing anything to help the Native Americans. Many times they're not Native Americans. They're just saying that because they want to feel superior to you because you like that, and that has horrible roots. It's like the people who, you shouldn't listen to. Let's say Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was not a good person. Michael Jackson did horrific things. He did things to children. He was very bizarre. He was troubled. I can still enjoy Smooth Criminal. Okay? That line of not being able to enjoy something because something bad happened or something else, that's a bizarre form of cancellation. And the logic very often is set towards, they just want to feel better. See, you should feel bad. And with me, it's, I acknowledge, I understand that that's both what it is and what it was. What it is and what else. But there is a huge gulf. And what I do on Thanksgiving, I'm not going out holding anybody down. Okay? I'm going out. I'm seeing my family. We eat. We talk. We may sing. Or maybe singing. Old war stories are told by Dad. Old things are told. That's what it is. It's a time to be grateful. And I believe, and that's part of the function of improving gratitude for what we have is so important that it shouldn't be overshadowed by other things that happened after the first Thanksgiving, and yes, we should think about these things, but we should not let them take the joy of it away either. It's a balance, and it's not to be inflicted as a weapon, because that's not kind. One can be accurate and kind. And the other thing is, there is literally nothing I can do about that event. The historical event is so far removed from me. And, even my genetics, there's nothing I can do. I could feel guilty for it. And there's part of me that always will. I have a very guilt-oriented mind. It was, it trained and developed in me. But it doesn't serve right now. It starts coming into cancellation and statute of limitations. Somebody found a recording of some actress or singer, who had said something racist 50 years ago. Should they have said it? No. I don't agree with racism. I find it disgusting. But in the 50 years, they grew out and they were beyond that. They have grown and apologized best they can. They've tried to make amends and tried to be a better person for that time. They should have deserved to be kicked in the teeth now. I don't think that's right. even if they did something like that. There has to be, some level of forgiveness. We used to have that. It used to be if you did something criminal, you'd go to jail, unless it was something like, murder or whatever. Even then, you do your time. You've paid your debt. Paid your debt to society. That means you don't owe society anymore. You should be able to go about your business. But we've turned guilt and past sins into a very profitable, both socially and economically, system that once you make a mistake, you can't get out of it. Blue Tay says, it's interesting to see how much false information different news outlets can spread when what they're talking about is information that's open to the public and check themselves. Yes. Well, here's a fun one. I'll give you a fun one. I was looking around because I love Halloween. I have a candy wrapper right here. Man, it brought it up. You know how many cases of tampered candy I have found confirmed? One case of tampered candy during the trick or treat. I've not. If there are others, cool. If we confirm cases where somebody's done it, but do you realize what a huge point of discussion that is every year around Halloween? They rile people up to the point where trick or treat, is a thing that's turned to trunk or treat for the safety of the kids. And that's ridiculous. That is just the perfect point of one kernel of idiocy being popped into a miraculous bag of ridiculousness. So yes, it is. It's kind of scary. Yes, what this teaches you is to think critically, study critically. Good things are coming out of this. This is the kind of conversation I like. Perspectives without animosity. That's what I shoot for. This is never meant to be, for me, a shill show. I mean, I plug a lot of people. A lot of people put their links in. But I want to have conversations about creating and ingesting media. It's a valid and important thing. A lot of those celebrities who effed it up didn't. Okay, wait. We got them. Yeah, Grandma made some fried chicken with so much oil. I was expecting one of you guys to show up with some democracy for us. Now, see, that's the other thing. You have to be able to make light of it to an extent. There comes a point where, as part of the processing, a little humor can be applied. And dang, great mood break there, Johnny. I appreciate it. Grant says, a lot of celebrities who effed up don't go to jail because they're rich enough to hire good lawyers. Bill Cosby, Ike Turner. No, exactly. If there's a fine for a crime, it only applies to the poor. And we have what's called economic stratification. Economic stratification is the sociological occurrence where tiers in a society are developed based on how much wealth they have accomplished, and that the laws change at these different tiers. So that the experience of somebody in the same society is radically different. And it is. And I think right there, that's criminal. I'll say it. I don't care who you are. That's my problem. Justice has to be, for it to be justice, has to be blind. True blind justice. That's why she's depicted that way. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay? If there is a known criminal activity and people do it, I don't care. If you did it, you should get in trouble. Okay? Now, if there's a way to find forgiveness, whatever, but if it's the law, we got to keep to the law to the best of our abilities. There should always, law must be mutable, but there should be accountability. And it isn't on favoritism. So what I see often happens is there are events where, for example, there have been certain criminal things that have happened that have had Democratic in America participants and Republican participants in the same event, allegedly or actually. And what will happen is the Republicans will say, well, lock up the Democrats. The Democrats will say, lock up the Republicans. Nobody gets locked up. Whereas I say, if they did it, lock them up. Well, that's so-and-so. Did they do it? Well, yeah, lock them up. You know, I have witnessed live streams of politicians committing crimes, you know, literally lying to Congress, inciting things, doing things that are literally criminal. You've watched it happen in front of you and no accountability. That is wrong. Equal across the board. That's a big problem I have. I don't think people realize how many people are in jail for being guilty of a crime are okay, wait. That's a big problem. I don't think people realize how many people are in jail for being guilty of a crime, the crime of not being able to afford a lawyer. Yeah. And here's the thing. We've complained a bit, and we have. And that sometimes is necessary. You have to recognize the problem. But the next thing I say is, what are you going to do about it? And if not, what are you going to do about it? What can be done about it? You know, is there someone we could talk to? Proactive choice. Because if you say, here's a problem, and you do nothing about it, you are essentially whining. And that's me too. We all do it. Without suggest a solution, do something. Even a suggestion that proves not to work or wrong is an attempt and it has value. You tried to help. Therefore, you've done far more than the people who don't. My way of helping, I'm not a politician. I have no desire to run for office, is to promote what we're doing right here. Because if we can have these conversations, perhaps people smarter or more talented or more motivated than I am can get in on these conversations and come up with a better idea. Because what we have strayed into, and with this, I think I'm going to close because I'm going, while this feels like a Thanksgiving dinner conversation, at least at my parents' house, we have strayed into a fixation on debate. Debates give you a winner. Well, I think so-and-so's better. I think so-and-so. And then you use whatever it takes to win the debate. Rhetoric, lies, showmanship, facts, the truth, things like that. And I presented them in that order deliberately. You get a winner. But if you have a discussion, provided civility is understood, you have a chance at getting an answer. And there's only one way to get an answer. It's to first ask the question. And to ask the question, you have to understand what you're asking about. And have that balance with being willing to step aside from the comfort of your ego and say the three most important words to start any journey educationally. I don't know. And when I have something that catches my interest either out of necessity or out of simple curiosity, that's still a thing, folks. And I feel myself go, I don't know. A tickle in the back of my mind starts up. It's a wonderful sensation because I know, for good or ill, I'm going to expand my horizons by looking into things. I'm going to elevate my own understanding knowing that the more I understand, the more I realize I don't understand. It's a paradox, but it is a wonderfully beautiful paradox because it's one that drives creation and evolution of a person, of your psyche, of your understanding. It's delightful. It's like, I'm going to use another food metaphor. It's right after Thanksgiving, we eat Chinese food and we eat Japanese food. My wife makes a delightful sushi. Actually, several delightful forms of sushi. But, Asian food, I think I'm allowed to say that. And I'll talk to people and be like, you don't know? Well, here, try this piece of sushi my wife made. Nothing funky in it, just the rice, the little nori wrap, maybe some cucumber and carrot. Nothing. If you eat it, I don't like it, you're done. But if you eat it and you're like, wow, what is this? Well, this is a type of sashimi. This is a type of sushi. Now a whole world of, well, I'd like to know more. What's in it? What types are there? Do I like all of it? Do I only like some of it? Where does it come from? And the stream of questions that build on each other. And it becomes a journey, because you go out. You have to either get online and look it up. But the only way to really know is to go out and try more. And learn and experience and fail. You may try something and go, oh, I don't ever want to look at that again. You've learned something. You've experienced something. You've broadened your horizons in a place that maybe you didn't want to, but now you know it exists. That goofy approach of this analogy, I find, applies to a lot. If you want to know something, you look it up, you study it. There's a big problem I have. Okay, we're already there. Been there, Grant. Yep. Okay. So it looks like I've caught up and got past you guys, which is good. Thank you for a very stimulating conversation. I'm going to ask that you guys create something today. And if it can solve a problem or make things better, even better. But if it's simple joy, that's fine too. Eat your leftovers if you have them. Those of us who are doing multiple Thanksgivings, enjoy the hops. And if you're doing Black Friday, please don't let the spirit of acquisition overcome the spirit of gratitude that we showed yesterday. So get writing, get creating, get drawing, folks. Because if you don't like it, you can always edit it, but you can't edit a blank page. I will see you later today on the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream. And next week for more Nevermind the Furthermore.